Hey Foreverlies, it is just Maddie in this video. This video isn't like my normal setup. I'm literally laying in bed right now. The thing is, in order to film this video, I wanted to feel comfortable because whenever I'm sitting up and filming, like not in my bed, I'm not as comfortable and I don't feel as open. Right now, since my body is comfortable, hence why I'm laying in bed, I feel like my mind might be a little bit more comfortable, and it'll make it easier to talk about this. This is something that I put off talking about on my channel for so long because I didn't want to do it in a harmful way, because this is a topic that's like really, it could be really triggering for a lot of people. Speaking of, in this video I will be talking about some things that could be triggering for people with eating disorders. Just be aware, take this trigger warning. Please don't trigger yourself unnecessarily if this is something you're struggling with. So first off, I don't have an eating disorder, at least I haven't been diagnosed with one. I'm not one to self-diagnose, ever, but I have struggled with disordered eating behaviors and things that do correlate with the symptoms of an eating disorder, but I've never been diagnosed with one, and I'm not saying I have one. Today I'm just going to be talking about my struggle with food, weight gain, and weight loss. I've gotten to the point where I've kind of healed myself from some things I was going through, so I'm finally comfortable talking about this. I've always kind of tiptoed around the reason why I've lost weight. I did lose quite a bit of weight in quite a small amount of time. My full weight loss from like my highest point to my lowest point was in 6 months, and it was a pretty dramatic difference. Before I get more into the video, I want to say that this is not going to be one of those videos where I tell you, oh, this is how I lost weight fast, this is what to do to lose weight fast. It's not like that. This is a video about a struggle I've had, and I want to open up about it so people know they're not alone if they're struggling with something similar, and kind of how I got over this struggle I had at the beginning of 2021. I was in a really bad place mentally, like a really bad place mentally. I was not doing well. I took a break from YouTube. My mental health was at an all-time low, and I was at the highest weight I had ever been. I was just getting constant messages about my weight, calling me fat, a pig, all kinds of names. And people just never failed to really comment about my weight, especially online. And people commenting about it online was the worst part, because people online are ruthless. When you can hide behind a username and an anonymous profile picture, you can be a lot more bold and say a lot harsher things without the backlash of if you were to say it in person. So people were so mean to me online. It was horrible. And that really affected me. So I tried so many ways to kind of like fix myself and lose weight. What I didn't know is that I didn't need fixing. I was literally perfectly fine. I never really struggled with trying to restrict my eating because I never knew how to control what I ate. And one of the reasons for my weight gain was that I would binge eat. And that was just kind of what I did. If I was upset, I would eat a ton of food. And whenever I would eat meals, I would eat until I felt physically sick, because I didn't really have impulse control and I didn't know when to stop eating. Turns out that's an ADHD thing. And once I got medicated for ADHD, I was able to like not binge eat and know when I'm full and not overeat, basically. I started a medicine for ADHD. A lot of people go online, go on my account and say that I'm abusing my ADHD medicine to lose weight. I am absolutely not doing that. It's one thing that I want to make so clear, that I am not abusing my medication, my low dose of medication to lose weight. That's not what's happening. I take a controlled prescribed dose daily, the same amount daily, and it's an extended release pill, which is a lot harder to abuse. Nor have I tried to abuse it, nor have I ever tried to abuse it. So just putting that out there. I want to get that 100% straight. I did not abuse my medicine to lose weight. My medicine helped me function as a neurotypical person would. I don't have like the cute, quirky, like, oh my gosh, I'm so like crazy and random and energetic, like I can't sit still ADHD. I have like I cannot regulate my emotions, and I will sit in bed depressed unless I find a source of dopamine. It's basically severe ADHD, and it's not the cute and quirky kind. So I'm done with my ADHD rant, but just know, let me make this clear, my medicine makes me able to function like a normal human. And I have literally never been able to not have any noise in my brain, if that makes sense. And the first day I took my medicine, I didn't have a million thoughts running over each other, and I had self-control, and I bawled my eyes out because I had never felt like that in my life. As I said before, my medicine made it where I could actually regulate my actions and control my actions. I had so much more self-control. And once I realized I had this self-control, I started restricting what I was eating. Because before, I didn't have the self-control to restrict. And once I realized that I had that self-control, I used it. And it was a really bad time of my life. And nobody ever talks about whenever you kind of like cut off your relationship with food and start restricting, like heavy restrictions and denying yourself meals. Nobody talks about how accomplished you feel whenever you see that number drop. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I hate that society has conditioned people to feel that they have to starve and feel accomplished for starving themselves and proud of themselves for starving themselves. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And especially with the way people glamorize bad eating habits and say, oh, I went on a fast for like a week and I only drank smoothies and I lost this much weight. I'm so proud of myself. There's just so much toxicity that makes it so easy for somebody to develop a bad relationship with food. So much, and it's absolutely horrible. But the worst part, at the time, I was so happy to see myself losing weight because that's what the world told me I needed. The world told me that I needed to be skinny, and I was so happy to be losing weight, even though I was starving. I was quite literally starving. Once you start restricting your eating, it makes it really hard to stop, and it's horrible. It's one of the hardest things that I've ever dealt with in my life, coming from somebody who had a attempt at 13, diagnosed with trichotillomania. I pull out my own hair in like 3rd grade, 2nd grade, and had a baby at the ripe age of 14. It was one of the hardest things I've ever been through, and that's saying a lot. One of the worst parts for me, I think, not really the worst part, but what made it worse in the end was all the praise I got on social media when I posted full body pictures. And everybody's asking, what did you do to lose weight? You look so much better. It's so hurtful to go and hear somebody say that I look better now that I've literally denied my body its basic needs to get that way. It makes you feel like the pain is worth it to be pretty, but it's not at all. Just everybody asking me, how'd you lose weight? You look so good. You look so much better. Was I not good enough whenever I weighed more? I was literally the same person. I was happier. I was happier. Whenever I haven't weighed myself in a bit, but whenever I weighed 50, 60 pounds more, I was happier. I'm still at a weight that's considered healthy, and I'm not considered underweight. That's one of the reasons that I never tried to seek help for the behaviors that I was engaging in, I feel like it wasn't justified, because at the time that it was the worst, I was still overweight, considered overweight with my BMI. But it literally stole my happiness. I'm not gonna call it an eating disorder. I'm not sure what to call it, but my struggle with eating took my happiness. And everybody says that I look so much better now, I look so much happier now, but in reality, I just look like all the other models with plastic surgery on social media. It's not a realistic mindset to have, to feel like your body has to look a certain way to be pretty, especially hearing other people encourage you almost for your weight loss, even if it was done in an unhealthy way. These people encouraging your weight loss just because you fit a certain image. Nobody really talks about the physical symptoms that come whenever you're malnourished. Just the constant dizziness. You can't focus. You can't drive. Driving is so hard. Like, your body just, it feels like you're almost not in control of your body. Whenever you get a cut, it stays for months. Your body isn't healing itself. And I just absolutely hate the way that this generation has made starving yourself glamorous. I remember seeing TikToks about like certain behaviors that were considered eating disorder behaviors, and I thought to myself, wow, I wish I had the control to not eat so I could look like that, so I could lose weight. And I still cannot believe that I felt that way. And I just want to go back and hug myself and tell myself that I'm beautiful just the way I am, because it absolutely breaks my heart to think back to the time when I was struggling and the time where I didn't feel good enough. And I felt like I had to go to such extremes to be pretty or feel good about myself. I just wish I could go back 8 months and just give myself a huge hug. The main point of this video really is just kind of open up, because I have had some people message me and comment on my pictures and notice like, hey, you've been losing weight really fast. Is everything okay? And I don't want people to think like I have the secret to life on how to lose weight, because that's not a secret to life. Being happy with yourself is the secret to life. And I can tell you right now, if you're not happy with yourself before you gain or lose weight, you're not going to be happy with yourself after. Being happy with yourself has nothing to do with this, and everything to do with this. Everything. It's literally just your mentality. You have to let go of the idea that everybody examines you the way you examine yourself. Nobody's gonna come to your funeral and talk about how skinny you were, or how you had a nice jawline, or like your thigh gap. They're gonna talk about you as a person. And nobody, in the end, is gonna care about what your body looked like. Nobody. And I know that's kind of harsh. Like, yes, work on yourself, be healthy, but do it in a healthy way and be happy with yourself. But in the end, your brain is everything. Your mindset is everything. If you are somebody who's struggling with eating and you do become malnourished and you aren't eating enough, you become very mean. Very, very mean. And I just feel so horrible for everybody who was around me at the time when I was struggling the worst, because I was just a horrible person to be around. Like, I was literally so negative, and I feel like I just drained everyone around me. And that's what people are gonna remember. They're not gonna remember what size your waist was. Yeah, this is something that I'm kind of like going off on a tangent now, because I don't really feel too comfortable talking about much else of the situation. And like, I don't want to say specific numbers or the habits I followed. Just know that I was never diagnosed with anything. I never tried to get diagnosed with anything. I felt like invalidated because I wasn't underweight. I just wanted to address this. I really wanted to open up and talk about this finally, because it's almost been a year struggling with this. So I felt like it was really important to share. And I still do struggle, but it's getting better, a lot better. And part of that was healing my mind and letting go of not only my own expectations, but other people's expectations. So if you are struggling with this, I just have a few tips. So number one, do not weigh yourself. Do not. It's literally one of the most toxic things you can do if you're struggling. It's one of the worst things for you. Get a hammer and smash your scale. Write everything that has ever made you feel, all those bad things it's made you feel, and smash it with a hammer. Smash it to pieces. Stomp on it. It's unhealthy. The only thing that made me stop weighing myself is when my scale battery died. And I told myself, okay, it's time. I'm not buying a new one. Not buying a new battery. Number two, listen to your body. If you've gotten to the point where you don't get like the hunger pangs anymore and you don't feel hungry anymore, which unfortunately I did get to this point where I just stopped feeling hungry overall, and I only knew when I was hungry when I felt like I was about to pass out and throw up. Start eating again. Take it slow. I know it's hard, but get to the point where your body can tell you when you're hungry. When it's telling you you're hungry, you need to eat something. And I know it's a lot harder than it sounds, or a lot simpler than it sounds for some people. But if you're struggling, I know it's hard, but listen to your body when it tells you it's hungry. Another tip, do not count your calories. Do not turn over that box and see how many calories are in that snack you've been craving. Get a Sharpie and scribble out all the calories on everything you own. One of the things that helped me the most was wearing stretchy pants. And you might think to yourself, what does that have to do with eating and struggling with eating? You won't feel too big or too small if you're wearing stretchy pants. So that's gonna be it for this video, really. It's a really hard thing to talk about, and I'm still learning how to talk about it openly and correctly, because I know some things can be triggering. So if I did say something that I shouldn't have said, please let me know so I can change it in the future, because this is all really new to me. I've never struggled with something like this before, and all I can say is that I am healing and it's getting better, but I've literally never mentioned a single word of this on my channel. I might have talked about small increments before, but I've never really said like I was starving because I thought it would make me pretty. And I never want anybody else to ever feel like that, and I never want to feel like that again. I will see you guys in the next video. If you watched this, thank you, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird thing for me to talk about. I've been through a lot of things, but this has been one of the hardest to really talk about. And you don't have to look like anybody else but yourself. Sorry, that was cringy. Okay, I'm leaving now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.